I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
So before we begin, how do you pronounce your first name? Is it Calamity?
Calamity.
Calamity.
Yes,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
a nice word.
Ah, okay. That was a little tricky there. I was just want to make sure. Uh, but again, thank you for being here. You
Thank you.
you are
Do you know
a
what calamity means?
no, I don't.
It's like a big disaster, like when a hurricane rolls through, it creates a calamity, or it like leaves a calamity behind.
Oh,
Like
that.
Calamity Jane in the Western movies.
Oh, okay. That brings some intimidation towards your opponents. I see.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. I got you. So you are a award-winning media artist. You are a burlesque performer, and you are a wrestler as well. We'll start with the wrestling side of things. So what did you decide to get into wrestling?
Well, the way I got into wrestling was actually through burlesque. So, I've been a burlesque performer for over 7 years now. I've toured 13 countries, and an opportunity to be a part of this show here in Vancouver called Glam Slam. So it's burlesque meets wrestling. There's like wrestling matches and burlesque numbers. And so we were training to do like little, and I just loved what I was doing. I loved the training. I loved getting my aggression out in the ring. So then I just continued wrestling, and there's, a real need for more female wrestlers, especially here in my part of the world. So it was just a really good opportunity, and I just fell in love with it.
So what was that like making that transition for being a burlesque performer into a wrestler? Do you see any similarities between the two?
Yeah, actually, it was such an easy transition for me because, for example, burlesque is, we say like wrestling is like the male version of burlesque, in the sense of, in burlesque it's like ultra feminine, and it's like a caricature of a woman in a lot of ways. And I find like for like men of wrestling, it's almost like a caricature of a man, like these big, meaty, like angry guys that are like fighting each other. But what drew me to wrestling, and like some of the biggest similarities between burlesque and wrestling, is like it's theater. It's there's stories and characters, and wrestling is like a dance in a lot of ways. It's like dancing, and you're like working with your opponent. It's kind of like a dance. So yeah, it was a good fit.
Every now and then I do tend to, like when I recap stuff of wrestling, I like to use the dance thing
Oh yeah.
analogy. Like it takes two to tango.
Mhm.
It definitely takes chemistry. It takes being on the same page, even though you and your
Yeah.
opponent are going at each other. Um,
Mhm.
and you for the performing aspect,
Yeah.
hero and a villain. So that was indeed a great transition, going from one side of performing to a whole another side of performing, and yet it's more physical and everything. Um,
Yeah.
so were there any who do you consider like influences, those who've influenced you, whether it's wrestling or whether it's any other form of performing?
Well, in wrestling, I grew up. Well, we always, growing up, we were fans of Hulk Hogan and Bret the Hitman Hart. Hitman Hart and his family were from right near where I grew up, so they were always, like legends to us. But now that I'm starting to get more into wrestling, I really like. I'm really into like lucha libre style wrestling, and I really like the like high flyers. I just find it so, I'm just in awe with some of the tricks they can do, like Rey Mysterio, and just how like it's kind of like gymnastics in some ways. I just love what they do and how they can jump, and even if they're smaller than their opponent, they're faster and they can kind of outsmart their big giant opponent. So that I really love that style of wrestling. Yeah, and then I think in burlesque, there's a lot of burlesque legends, women who started doing burlesque like in the 50s and 60s, who we really look up to because they paved the way for us.
Awesome. Now, what were your friends from the burlesque side? What was their reaction when you went on to become a wrestler? Were they supportive? Were they not supportive? What was their reaction?
Yeah, they love it. Yeah, definitely. And some of the other burlesque girls have started training now too. It's just like I said, it's just there's just so many similarities. It's just such a great fan base and group of people. And so yeah, no.
And look at you, trendsetter. Now you got them wrestling too. Trying to get into wrestling there, so that's pretty cool. For now, do you remember the first ever wrestling match that you ever had, getting a chance to perform in front of a wrestling audience? If so, who was your opponent? What company did you work for at the time?
Yeah, so my first ever match was a tag team match. It was me and Melody Mangler. So we're both burlesque performers. We were we're East Van Valkyries against the Hall sisters, so Stacy and Liza Hall. And their mom is like a Canadian wrestling legend. So they've grown up with wrestling. They've been doing it for a long time. They're really good. So it was really intimidating for us to be wrestling these two experienced women. But it was at this show called Glam Slam. And I also performed burlesque at the same show. So I did like a burlesque number, and then the second half I was wrestling. And when I do burlesque, I like to have a couple shots of whiskey to loosen me up. But I couldn't do that because I was wrestling, and I didn't want to drink and wrestle and kill someone. So that was probably the hardest thing for me, was not being able to drink.
I mean, okay, as it pertains to the part, I do recall a guy named Stone Cold Steve Austin. He drank nearly every night, and he was still performing. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe when I get to his level, I'll have a couple drinks.
Okay, I got you. So there is a video on All Star Wrestling Incorporated. I like to scroll down the feeds and things like that. I guess what you call a GIF, if you will, of you dancing with a fellow wrestler with a mask. Um, uh, please, let's talk about this GIF, please.
Sure. So that was at All Star Wrestling Unrest. All Star puts on really, really good shows. I go to almost every show I can. And so I was performing at All Star Wrestling. It was a mixed tag, me and Cobra Kai, against Kasaki and Sunny Day. And so that GIF was Cobra Kai and I at the merch booth at Inton. We like to dance, so we were busting a move. And Cobra Kai is also my boyfriend.
Ah, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
He's pointing at you. You look like you doing, part of a group, doing a little backup dancing, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm always dancing. Even in the ring, I'm dancing all the time. And I like to try to incorporate some of my dance moves in my wrestling. So things like the splits and just some dance moves that I do. to incorporate that because I've grew up dancing ever since I was 3.
So as you continue to evolve in your wrestling career, what are some more goals you like to set for yourself? Championship opportunities, traveling more, face big name opponents. Like, what are some of your goals you want to set for
Oh
yourself?
yeah. Um, I I've been chatting with some promoters in Mexico about doing some more matches down there. So we'll see what happens. It's raining here in Vancouver. It's miserable. I'm like, just get me into the sun. So maybe being able to work places where it's sunny is definitely a goal for me. I think right now I'm like training 3 days a week. I'm just trying to get better. I'm still pretty new. I'm really, really new. So to be able to have good matches with good experienced wrestlers, and I definitely want to try and, work with my fellow female wrestlers to elevate how women wrestlers are seen in the industry. And one of my goals is to have more women booked on shows. Right now it's like they won't book more than 2 women on a regular show. And why not? Why can't, let's work hard to be as good as the men and to be seen by the men. So that's definitely something I'd like to work towards. And one day I'm going to get a belt. God damn it. I'm going to work hard.
That's great to hear, regardless of what type of athlete you are, uh, definitely you take strive of wanting to be a champion.
Yeah.
If that's not a goal that you want to pursue, then you better get out the business while you can, because
Yep.
there's so many other people that wants the championship, and every now and then there's someone or somebody that gets in the way. Um, and I would like to think that wrestling come a long way. It's like
Mhm.
there's more shows all over the country, all over the world, getting opportunities to perform all over the world. And obviously, professional wrestling is a male-dominant sport, but there's women out there that can wrestle just as good as the guys, if not better.
Yep.
Um,
Mhm.
what do you consider the biggest challenge as a female competing in a male-dominant sport?
I think for me, I'm always wondering, like, how sexy do I need to be? Sometimes I feel pressure to be really sexy, and sometimes I feel like, no, why do I feel? I also feel one thing I've been doing now is I've been working out every day because I was lacking strength when I first started, because I want to be able to do some of the same moves that the guys do, the guys who are stronger and musclier, if that's a word. So I've been working out, and I've been sweating, and I've been hating it, but as I'm doing it, all I can just think about is getting better at wrestling, getting better at wrestling. So I've been really pushing myself, hitting the gym, trying to eat better, and yeah, and I really look up to Charlotte Flair, for example, I think she's mean, and to those women who are taking it really seriously, and the women who, like, I've been training with here in Vancouver, like Nicole Matthews, for example, and like trying to train more with them, and I'm just trying to learn from them and look up to them. Yeah.
Man, it's definitely, and I get, you understand, truly understand about the whole, look and everything.
Yeah.
It feels like some dudes don't even have to be the most muscular, and yet they get opportunities. It feels like woman has to look a certain way. Um, I mean, I guess it's a promoter's problem, or I don't know. I don't know. I guess it just goes to the promoters of what they want, what direction that they
Mhm.
want, and Sometimes you just gotta say hell no. You're not gonna stoop to that level just to get an opportunity.
Yeah.
It's about
I mean,
integrity.
to each their own, for sure.
Hmm.
I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, I mean, I understand it's entertainment and it's all about image, and so it's like, where's the line, I guess? Where do we draw the line, and where do we look at women as athletes rather than just like sexual objects? But also, I like being kind of sexy. So it's like, where's the line?
That's definitely a good question. Where is indeed the line? And I guess if there was female promoters, it'd probably be a whole different outlook or whatever. I mean, I don't know,
Yeah.
but again, it's male dominant, not just with wrestlers, but promoters. I rarely hear any of female promoters. The only female I know of is Dixie Carter, and she's not even calling the shots anymore. Um,
Oh, really?
yeah, she still works for the company, but now mostly towards Anthem Sports and Entertainment, which, from my understanding, is a bunch of guys. So,
Mm.
you know, I guess with Dixie, decision making and not compensating top guys like a AJ, Bobby
Mhm.
Roode, and Samoa Joe, which is why they no longer work for the company, and that happened under her watch, unfortunately. So, um, and I guess with now that Anthem Sports and Entertainment, they are in control of the company now. Dixie is just she's underneath. She don't have much of a say. She works mostly towards Anthem Sports and Entertainment, but she's not making the big decisions for TNA anymore.
Okay.
So it's become more of a they got they got all the power or whatever the case may be. Uh, at least that's the way it and everything. Uh,
Yeah, it's true. I mean, on Vancouver Island, there is a female promoter. She's a really good wrestler, Rhea. Um, so it's good to see that more women are taking these roles. But again, it's so rare. And I do wonder, like, what a female-run show would look like opposed to a male-run show. But that said, I respect that it's a male-dominated industry and that the fans are primarily male. So, but I love the idea of all of us working together and just trying to make the best show, regardless of male and female.
I've been to both of a male show, dominant show, and I've been to a female show, and I not only am a fan of women's wrestling, but I respect women's wrestling for what they've been able to do and what they are willing to do as far as performers going out there perform in front of the audience and entertain the crowd. Um,
Hmm.
and you know, there's a lot of talented women wrestlers out there, not just in the pros but in the indie scene as well.
Hmm.
So as far as women wrestling, as far as performers, because that's what I like to love women as performers. Uh, I mean, I like what they see. I like the variety. It's not just glitz and glam. These women, they can put a lick on you. They can hurt you too. So, they could be just as intimidating. And I've been friends with women wrestlers for several years, and they're good people, but they will put a headlock on you from time to time. So I try to watch what I say sometimes, but it's all good and fun. It's all love. Um,
If you ever make Vancouver to come to a show that Michelle Starr and All Star Wrestling puts on called Girls Gone Wrestling, and it's just an all-girl wrestling show. It's really fun.
I actually have visited Vancouver before.
Yeah,
Um, I have family that lives in Washington, Olympia, Washington, and Vancouver is not that far from there.
not far.
So
Well, you better get your butt up here again.
So that's going to be quite a while before that happened. I live in Kentucky, uh, which is very, very far away. But
Mhm.
every now and then I come to Washington, hang out with some family members, and now that I know that you're not that far from them, if the opportunity presents itself, I definitely would like to head back there, and
Yeah.
and I've never been to a wrestling show outside of America before. Uh, uh,
Oh, no way.
so I wanted to go to a Japan show. I wanted to go to a Mexico show. Canada with its rich history, I definitely want to go there too. So it's just a matter of when, pretty much. Uh,
Yeah.
so now you go ahead and promote your upcoming shows where people need to check you out.
Yeah, so you can always find me on Facebook, Calamity Kate, or you can find me on Instagram, Kate Crow, Kro Film. And I love when people reach out to me. I love making friends on social media. And my next wrestling show is on March 25th in Squamish, British Columbia, with All Star Wrestling. It's a mixed tag between Cobra Kai and I, and Bambi Hall and Matt Static. And then I have a couple burlesque shows here in Vancouver coming up. I don't know if any of your listeners are in Canada at all, but yeah, come check me out on social media, and let's stay in touch, and you can see where I will be next.
And also, I want you to go ahead and promote your social media links: Facebook, Twitter, any other link people need to check out.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter as Calamity Kate, Facebook Calamity Kate, so that's Kalami and then Kate. And then I'm on Instagram. Check out Calamity Kate or Kate Film. Yeah, I'm around.
She's all over the place, people.
All over.
Dancing and wrestling and hurting people.
Hurting people, dancing.
Yes. So
Everything.
yes. It was great chatting with you, Miss Kate. Thank you so much for your time, and thanks for calling in. Every now and then, it's rare that I get a chance to interview someone outside of America. So just to hear your perspective and what's going on in the Great White North, it's really cool to hear. So again, thank you for your time. Continued success.
Great. Thank you so much. It was nice chatting with you, and hello, America.
Well, hello, right
Okay.
back at you. You have a good night.
Thank you. Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.